mom's a university professor, and the professors all have a joke about the University of Phoenix. It's a for profit university based in Phoenix, Arizona, that holds all coursework online, has low tuition rates, and compensates for that by enrolling more than 70,000 students. They have a reputation for extremely watered down classes, and everyone knows that they literally sell degrees. Now, why am I mentioning this? Well, there are recent speculations that if universities continue to offer online classes, then due to technical difficulties and student complaints, many classes will be reduced to a University of Phoenix level. And trust me, my mom's been doing quite a bit of complaining about her students at home. But this is very concerning. Where's the future of higher education if nobody works hard to learn? So the question brought before us today is online schooling widening the education gap? And I believe the clear answer is yes, in three ways. First, it's opening up possibilities for flexible learning, but only for affluent students. Second, it's watering down course curriculum and abandoning many challenging aspects that were previously developed. And third, statistics show that it is widening the gap between students in affluent communities and those in underprivileged ones. The first way online schooling is widening the education gap is it's opening up possibilities for flexible learning, but only for affluent students that find it very convenient. The Chronicle of Higher Education in 2020 tells us that many of higher education's non-traditional students have full-time jobs, but also attend part-time school because they want a higher income. Online education is much more convenient for those that have internet, and there are many more resources available that they would otherwise have to go to campus for. According to the same Chronicle article, many universities are offering a pass-fail option to attract more profitable part-time students who are just looking to pass their way through a degree, but don't need a high GPA. Diverse Issues in Higher Education on September the 8th claims that universities are doing all they can to attract non-traditional students, including lowering tuition and providing technology for free. But the gap remains large between people who have reliable internet and a quiet working environment at home and those that don't. University Business on October the 23rd tells us that universities are paying more attention to retention services, including free tutoring that can help non-traditional students graduate smoothly. But tuition remains a problem for underprivileged students, especially additional tuition for failed attempts at courses that are caused by the pandemic. Now, the second way online schooling is widening the education gap is it's watering down course curriculum and abandoning many challenging aspects that were previously developed. Back when post-secondary curriculum was being developed, universities were all trying to make it more challenging and specialized in their fields. Now, most of them are in the process of undoing that to secure their tuition dollars. Inside Higher Ed on November the 3rd tells us that students did worse on standardized tests during COVID-19, so teachers, in an attempt to save students in higher ed, are significantly inflating course grades and allowing students to work together on exams, which keeps increasing the gap in actual education as compared to grades. Trib Live on October the 28th tells us that the Pittsburgh Penn Hills School District Board, an example of a typical school district serving an area where only 23% of adults are college grads, voted to suspend a 2.0 GPA requirement and lower it to 1.0 for athletics and marching band students. Many other low-income school districts and higher education institutions have made similar moves, including resorting to the pass-fail structure mentioned earlier. Many school district websites around the nation, including our own, including ones in Texas and Kentucky, are releasing grading guidelines, instructing teachers to allow students to make up assignments. Teachers are already unable to cover as much curriculum, but they are told to even allow students a quote-unquote buy on the stuff that they have covered. Now, the third way online schooling is widening the education gap is it's widening the gap between students in affluent communities and those in underprivileged ones. According to McKinsey research in 2020, the increasing gap in education between high and low income students caused by the pandemic could rob the US economy of up to $670 billion of lost GDP productivity, the equivalent of a future recession. NAACP in 2020 tells us that the communities that need the most funding during COVID-19 are the ones with low income, However, they're actually the ones that have the least funding available for technology and other educational aids. The Economic Policy Institute on September the 10th claims that there is a 5% gap between poor and non-poor students that have internet at home, a 16% gap in those that have computers, and a 10% gap in those that know how to use computer software to do homework. Many school districts are sending home Chromebooks and tablets, but those are impossible to use without internet at home. Also, with educated parents, children can get better schooling at home, but usually underprivileged children have uneducated parents. Pew Research on April the 15th tells us that not only are underprivileged children falling behind educationally, they're also falling behind socially because they don't have the outside school social opportunities that their affluent counterparts do. So this brings us back to our question, is online schooling widening the education gap? And I believe the clear answer for that is yes. There are three ways that it's happening. First, it's opening up possibilities for flexible learning, but only for affluent students. Second, it's watering down course curriculum and abandoning many challenging aspects that were previously developed. And third, statistics show that it is widening the gap between students in affluent communities and those in underprivileged ones. Now, there are more negative than positive effects of COVID-19 on education, although there are some benefits to virtual learning. Now, as my mom complains, self-motivated students will still work hard and learn, as she's seen and as I've seen with my classmates. But it's the problem with motivation that will drive education down during COVID. Let's just hope that schools don't follow the University of Phoenix's example and continue to motivate their students, regardless of income or family situation, towards the success that they deserve. Thank you.